Type things, and it is the Toyota Winners Lounge, brought to you by your local Front Range Toyota dealership. Welcome inside, and pleasure to have you here above the DNVR bar on Colfax and York. Coming to you from the DNVR studios, it is the DNVR Avs post-game pod/show. Welcome to all of our viewers joining us on YouTube or whatever your preferred podcast platform is, and also those of you joining us over the airwaves on TV now, especially to our friends on Xfinity on channel 4072. Make sure you're dropping us a like. We got to get ourselves to hundo so we can do some winner shots. That's coming up. We'll talk more about this amazing hockey game tonight. We'll get your comments in the Toyota chat. And, of course, the post-game show brought to you by our friends who are never ordinary, no matter the moment, Bet365. I, however, did not come away with any wins on Bet365 tonight. Bruto lied to me. He owed me $5.
I flipped the McKinnon-Makar coin, and it came up Makar tonight. I picked McKinnon,
$5.
so I owe you nothing.
You owe me $5.
I'll buy you a drink, but I'm not giving you a $5 bill.
Deal? Like, yeah, that's a win.
I don't carry around cash.
Yeah,
I literally can't. Yeah,
cash anymore. Gizmo, Rudo, Biggie.
I want my $2.
$2 back. Glad to have you guys along. Great win for the Colorado Avalanche. They made it interesting at the end, which is, never necessarily ideally great.
Yeah.
Come on, man. All in all, that's a good hockey game for this team. That's a good road win. But it's... you know what I expected, and I think in my own mind, I expected there to be a little bit more out of this group with all the bodies back. I want more decisive victories right now.
I mean, this game should have been decisive. It was decisive with 12 minutes left. You made it close when you didn't have to be. And honestly, I'm not even that upset about that. I thought the skaters were fine. I think you definitely take a look at the second line at 5-on-5, and you probably want more out of a guy like Val Nichushkin now that he's back in your lineup. Mm-hmm. You feel like Druin was a little bit lacking. They were mixing and matching the wingers on those top two lines, trying to find something through the first part of this game. Now, they got there eventually. Things got done. The Avs took the lead. They ended up winning the game. So I really don't have a lot of big concerns, and we'll get into the closeness later in the game. But ultimately, your best players went out and won you a hockey game, and that's a reasonable expectations for this hockey team. They should be able to do that, and they did tonight.
Mm-hmm. Well, there are rules. That's why I said earlier, I want my $2. Nobody bit. It's a movie. Better Off Dead, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought. Nobody was biting.
I had you. I wasn't positive on the reference, but
Doyle
I was
rules.
there with you. Well, Doyle Rules comes from... That's different.
Is that a different movie?
Yeah.
Movie? I'm quoting. I'm multitasking.
You're crossing over. That's where I was a little confused.
That's the one where they drive off the cliff, right? That's the whole...
Yeah, that's Billy Madison.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doyle Rules is Billy Madison?
Doyle Rules is Billy Madison. That's Adam
And
Sandler.
I want my $2. That's Better Off Dead, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
You know what? Good road win. I liked it. I liked the first period. They didn't cash in. They could have easily cashed in a few goals there. They didn't. I didn't think Justus was really overwhelmed in the first half of the game, and I thought he was more than fine, for what he had to do. And I think you go back to Bednar, what he's asking all the time, and that would be for any team in the National Hockey League, is you want to save the ones you're supposed to save, and then some, So he wasn't that busy. I'm talking about the first half, and then he saved a couple, that were nice saves, and obviously, all of a sudden, the best player on the planet, took over. And, it should have been a little bit easier, like you just said, Rudo. I'm saying the same thing as you. And then all of a sudden, there's two teams out there. And, again, I think Rudo's got the line of the year. Having not watched too much of the Flyers this year, I think you were bang on. And Rudo always has those nice graphics before the game, and the thing. And he's like, you know what? It's the most boring team in the NHL, and what I mean that with respect is that they're just 16th on everything they do, and I think that's what you saw tonight. It's exactly what Rudo described this team to be. And I just told him right before we went on live, I'm like, man, you're bang on. Like, it was... Now, if you asked me to start the road trip before the game started that you'd be winning the game 3-2, I would have said, hey, you know what, boys, let's take it. You know what I mean? So I think it was on its way to an easier win. I think it got a little tighter. There's two teams out there. There was a little bit push, a little bit of puck luck too, by the Flyers there. That made it a little tight. But you know what? I don't mind it. I was being selfish when I said that at the end. I was like, I don't mind it when it's 3-2, and then you can see how the team's going to react and how the goalie's going to react, and way different than a 3-0 game, So I thought I liked it. I liked the end. I liked the way the Avs lost all 3 faceoffs in a row. No, I'm kidding. You want numbers? I'm giving you numbers. But anyway, all in all, it was an awesome start to a road trip.
Let's couple of players I want to hone in on, and we'll get to my. Well, why don't we do this? Tiff, is 3 stars good to go? Okay, we'll get to 3 stars in a minute. Let me know when that's ready to go, and we can kind of hone in a little further. But let's hone in on a couple guys specifically, real quick. First and foremost, put it down as a natty hat trick on the
should be. It really should be.
On paper, but Cale Makar plays absolutely fantastic again tonight. Scores 3, has 1 disallowed because of goaltender interference, but two big ones for 8 in white. He's so impressive, and he's so composed, and he's so humble. I had the chance to meet his parents the other day, and I'm not surprised because they are, that exact same thing. But let's start with Cale. I mean, I don't know what much more we can say about him and what he brings to the table on this team, but boy, you can, death taxes and Cale Makar.
Best player on the planet. I mean, I say it all the time. I'm biased. I don't know if I'm biased, but it's true. I believe it. I mean, again, call me whatever name you want when I call me. I'm calling him the best player on the planet. I think this team's going to go as far as Cale Makar is going to take them. A little bit like last year, kind of. Cale was not 100%, and I think the team went as far as Nate brought them. I think Mac really took the lead last year. I feel that this year it's really Cale that's taken the lead. And again, Nate McKinnon's been outstanding, that's not what I'm saying, but somewhere, somehow, he's a unicorn. There's nobody else like him. I don't want to hear the comparisons to great players like Fox and Hughes, and I'm not arguing. I don't think anybody comes close to Cale Makar. Or Roman Yossi, or everybody. Those are outstanding, elite hockey players. I think Cale's on a class of his own. Obviously, that goalie interference tonight, it's bad luck. But Rudo and I were just looking at this goal against, what is it, Utah tonight?
Yeah, Washington, Utah.
I thought that one was not even as bad as the Cale. So, I mean, it is what it is. Those are soft calls. The league's getting soft a little bit when it comes down to, and I can see why people get mad. And I see Patty Waugh yesterday blew a gasket, about that type of call with his team losing, and he was asked after the game what he thought about it. I thought he was pretty good because I thought he was going to lose his mind, but he was very good. And he said, well, it was just not enough. The explanation he got on the ice was that the referee said to him it was not enough goalie interference. He's like, well, is it goalie interference or is it not? And he said, I was given the not enough, so I'll leave it at that. He wasn't too happy. So it's getting a little bit, again, we're not going to solve it tonight. It's just been a little bit confusing for the last few years, right? So here's what it is. Didn't bite the Avs in the butt, and all it did was just take away a hat trick from Cale Makar. Not a big deal.
Yeah, look, it's probably goalie interference. Yeah. I'm not going to argue with that. To get back to the Cale part of it, though, the way you put it, Cale Makar is kind of the one doing the leading on this team right now. What separates him from the other guys because hilariously, the Avs are blessed enough that Cale Makar's unbelievable talent is not unique on this team. They have a Nathan MacKinnon, maybe to a slightly lesser extent, they have a Mikko Rantanen. But when things aren't going the Avs' way, it's always Cale Makar that's popping. When you look at some of the losses this year, you felt like Cale left it all out there when maybe some of these other guys didn't.
Sure.
When you look at tonight,
Ownership, too.
yeah, absolutely. Makar is the one where felt like the Avs are playing pretty good, but the pucks aren't going in. Well, it's Makar who puts one in the back of the net. As the game progresses, it continues to be Makar. It continues to be Makar. You see guys like MacKinnon. It's a bad call, but he gets teched up because he barks about it too. You never, ever, ever, ever see Cale Makar make those types of mistakes because he's just that guy.
Yeah, and I think, you just put that very precisely, eloquently. I mean, that is exactly how I see it. I think that's why, whenever the time comes, he'll be the next captain of this hockey team. He's the steadfast, steady leader that you is always going to just kind of really be there and know what he's doing. The locker room respects him. You hear his teammates talk about him. I mean, expect that whenever Gabe's time is done, is that 8 will wear the C without question. Greg Brown just said it as well in the chat. Yeah, I mean, 100%. He is the next man that will be.
Don't need a crystal ball to see that one.
No. I mean, he's an easy captain's choice. No question about it. Justus gets the start. Georgiev on the IR. Retro, so he was not eligible tonight. Justus made some very good saves tonight. He has been good. That last game was a weird one for sure, but leading up to that, I thought he was great down that stretch to pull him out of the tailspin that they were in. He was like, Maverick and Top Gun, except he got out of the tailspin and didn't kill Goose.
Usually a win.
Yeah, which is a good thing, but tonight he did enough.
He did enough is a good way to put it.
He did enough.
I perfectly agree with that. Honestly, through the first 2 periods, I thought he was good to very good. But that third period is why I don't believe in him as an NHL starter. One of those goals go in, okay, whatever. Both of those go in, now you've let in 2 softies and you created a game that should have been an easy win into one you have to squeak out at the end of this game. And I have pretty much no problem with the defense that gets played on both of those goals. On the first one, certainly, that's a muffin from beyond the tops of the circles, and he just misreads it, tracks it wrong, and makes life hard on himself. On the second one, look, that's a complicated play where Justus thinks he has it under his glove, but he doesn't. Because of the way Justus plays it, the defense thinks, oh, he's got it, so the whistle's coming. He didn't have it. He didn't know he didn't have it. In a perfect world, the goaltender's got to be able to feel that a little bit. You see goalies fall on their backs when they know the puck is loose and stuff like that, and Justus just couldn't find it.
I agree with you. I think what happens on the first one is the word is tracking. I think he just tracks it wrong, like you just said. I think he looks left when it's coming over his right shoulder, and there's a way to track those. Again, we're not goalies, but I'm sure if the goalie could have said, there's a way to do it a little bit more brisk, your movements, just to find something. Don't want to leave yourself open like that, but you're right. And then the second one is about a scramble. You got to scramble a little bit better. You got to make sure that those aren't squeaking by. You want to make sure you close the legs, you figure it out. You can't just sit there, right?
I certainly 1001. Okay, the whistle still hasn't gone.
I got to figure
something's
it out.
up.
I know. Yeah, I got to figure it out. So again, But did I like his game? Like you said, yes. Up till then, I thought it was really good. I thought he had done what he had to do to be in a 3-0 lead. He had made some good saves. Again, building his confidence back a little bit, right? I had a good stretch.
Certainly better than the other night.
Didn't play, and again, he wasn't ready. It was not acceptable. I mean, I'm going to be hard on Georgiev, but I'll be hard on Justus too. He wasn't ready last game. Tonight we talked about it on the Hockey and the Rockies a little bit. Some sort of a, what do you call that, a mulligan, right? And I thought he answered the bell pretty good, and he didn't get busy for a while. Remember we were talking, we were nervous, like give him a shot here, give him a scoring chance just to get him involved. And he did. He responded to the test a lot better than he did, for example, against Washington. And by the way, Washington, if you're going to watch the game Thursday, Ovechkin might break Wayne Gretzky's record. I mean, he's got another 2 tonight. I think he's only at 27. At this pace, he might break it this week. This guy's just not
unreal.
Normal. Sarcasm, obviously.
It's unreal.
I want to make sure we all know it's sarcasm.
It's unreal, though.
But anyway, to get back to Justus, you know what? He won the game 3-2. Gave his team a chance to be in the lead, and that's all you can ask for. Would you want more? Yeah, probably want more a little bit. But it was a step in the right direction for Justus.
Step in the right direction for sure. They definitely need to be more strong on the closeout. Can't give up softies in the last 10 minutes. We'll talk about that next because you got to finish strong. You got to finish sexy.
Hey.
Like our friends over at Sexy Pizza, who will be at all of the remaining DNVR Broncos tailgates. They are more than your average by the slice eatery. Sexy Pizza, dedicated to top quality eats with civic and community interaction. They're crafting their hand-tossed deck oven pizzas from scratch, including the dough and sauce, using fresh components and hand-cut vegetables. They are delectable creations that have earned local favor across 4 locations in Colorado for over a decade. And with philanthropy being at their core, Sexy Pizza supports tons of nonprofits, schools, high schools, team clubs, and etc. They have a donation link on their website where folks can go to submit their requests. And they offer fundraiser days throughout the year where we and they donate 15% of their total net sales from one of our locations to the highlighted group for that specific date. They've done a great job for high school teams, including football, wrestling, tennis, cheerleaders, etc., and even middle school and elementary schools. Take a look at their everyday specials because they sell slices all day, every day. The base special comes with a fountain drink, but you can upgrade that to beer or wine at the locations that serve alcohol. Sexy Pizza, serving sustainability, community, and hand-tossed pizza in Colorado.
If you want to get Sexy Pizza, you need a way to get to Sexy Pizza.
You do. You got to drive there sometimes.
You do. Sometimes you have to go get your pizzas. And that's where Toyota comes into play, not just for your pizza, but anywhere you're trying to go. Toyota has you covered. 17 different models with all-wheel drive or four-wheel drive, just like the 4Runner, if that's your thing. Maybe you're more of a truck guy. They've got the Tundra. Whatever it might be, Toyota has a vehicle for you. If you're just a commuter like me who drives on the highway into town, they've got 16 different hybrid options to save you some gas money. Jump in with Toyota today. Go visit your Front Range Toyota stores for the official vehicle of the Colorado Avalanche and us here at DNVR. You can get over to AutoNation Toyota, Rapalm, Centennial, Corwin Toyota, and Boulder, Groove Toyota, and Littleton, Mount States Toyota in Denver, Stevenson Toyota East in Aurora, and Stevenson Toyota West in Lakewood. Again, the official vehicle of DNVR is Toyota.
Toyota. And we thank all of you for being with us in the Toyota's Winter Lounge. We need to get to 100 likes. Currently sitting at 51. If you could go ahead and help us out with that, some shots would be greatly appreciated. I just found a new whiskey that I like very, very much. And
There you go.
I would very much like to have a shot of that. So let's get that going. The boys need shots. Tiff needs a shot.
True.
Tiff, what do you shoot, actually?
Tequila.
Are you a tequila girl?
Tequila,
Gross.
whiskey, doesn't really matter.
Reposado or Blanco?
Either. Whatever's cheap.
Doesn't care.
Matter.
She's in.
A shot with a Ryan O'Byrne, Big Sexy Pizza.
Big Sexy Pizza.
That was his nickname, Big Sexy.
The one position that has movement non-injury related is the defensive side, and it's the rotation here and there. I mean, it's Calvin DeHaan's spot with Malinsky on that third pairing, but we see Ludwig come into it. We see Shillington come into it. Tonight, we saw Shillington play in this one. What are our thoughts on that third pairing and tonight, for example, the rotation in of Shillington and perhaps what he brought, what he hurt, and then was there an absence potentially with not having DeHaan out there?
I mean, look, was he fine? Sure. I don't have major problems with Oliver Shillington's game.
What's his numbers at?
A whole lot of goose eggs, and he played 10:30. And I think that's telling. You're a defenseman who barely broke the 10-minute mark. Don't think Jared Bednar wants to play him a ton. And unfortunately, I think it's just an archetype thing for Shillington in that role. Because Shillington is not a guy built to win a ton of puck battles for you defensively. He's a little bit squirrely with the puck at times in his own zone. And frankly, he just is struggling to have the offensive impact in that role, in part because he's paired with Sam Malinsky, who that's his job on that role. So,
well, that's the beauty of for me, that's the beauty of the Dahan Malinsky pairing. And you heard Bednar talk about it the other day before they shoved off on their road trip. That's a really good yin and yang between those two.
I agree, and I think I've been pretty hard on Shillington throughout the season, and in some cases justified, but I think there is an extent where he's just a little bit miscast here right now. It's just not fitting.
Here's what I'll say. Were you done with that part?
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Okay, yeah. I just didn't want to jump in, but yeah, I mean, like you said, I think numbers are telling a little bit. 10 minutes of ice as the third pair in the National Hockey League is not a lot of ice. With that said, I do believe Calvin DeHaan Malinsky is what the third pair should be and is and will be. But two parts to this. It's a long season. You do need some bodies sometimes. I get the thought process. First of all, you don't want to go 20 games or 18 games without playing on D. I don't
You
remember
lose
how
the
long.
feels, for sure.
Absolutely.
Yep.
And that's what
No
good
doubt.
teams do. You have to find holes in there where guys can't go 12, 13, 14, 15 games without playing. It just doesn't work that way. With that said, do I think DeHaan's a better fit there? Yes. Do I think that if you're going to put in Ludwig or Shillington tonight, you're not taking Sammy G out, you're not taking Devontae's out. So at the end of the day, you're taking the veteran player that's a 5th, 6th D on your team in Calvin DeHaan. That's the right play to do. That's not a knock against DeHaan. That is not a knock against his play so far. I think Bednar addressed it the other day. He said it. He's played pretty good. That has nothing to do with that. But I tell you one thing, one guy, I look back at the game and I look back at those key plays at the end of the game. Sam Girard was fantastic
Agreed.
tonight.
Yep,
And again,
agreed.
I know I talk about Sammy all the time, and I am Quebecers, but I'll tell you one thing. Those top fours, you're not going to take them out. Lefty, righty, Sammy's a righty, Malinsky, right? So you're going to probably take out the lefty, and that's kind of where it's at. Do I like that? Again, I haven't been in those positions before as a player. I respect what Jared Bednar and Prater and Ray Bennett are doing, which is give a guy an opportunity. Ludwig the other day, Shillington tonight. Now, to finish off on Shillington and to say what Rudo just said, I agree with that. I think he's just been a tough fit here with the Avalanche. It doesn't seem to be flowing naturally. It doesn't seem to be, connecting, in the right ways. But I think you have to protect yourself with some depth, and I think you have to protect yourself by playing guys once in a while, because you can't, like I said, sit dormant for so long.
The reality is what you needed to see out of Shillington is what you saw from Sam Girard tonight. Sam Girard's not a big guy. He ended the night with 5 hits, most on the Avs.
He was awesome.
He saved the goal probably with his stick, and he had a couple of other blocks tonight. That's a guy who's performing with high quality on your defensive end. Yeah, Cale Makar can go do all this sick superstar stuff. I'm sure we'll talk about that again. But you need those solid defensive guys too, and Girard was that. Outside of the top pairing of Makar and Taves, Girard the only other defenseman to break 20 minutes tonight. So,
And the only thing I can add about that is, and again, I've been there, the confidence factor. It's a big boy league. There's not a lot of hugs in that league. You got to figure it out. And I'll tell you one thing, when you don't play a lot, when I say don't play, you don't dress a lot. When you do come out there, it is tough. It is tough. Like your ability to think and process is just a little bit on slow motion. You're not feeling confident with things because you haven't been playing. It's human nature to think right away too. I'm not making the lineup, so they must not really be in love with me. It's just life, right? And I feel for that. And this is not a knock on Oliver. It's just there's 6 guys right now. It sounds like those 6 guys are ahead of them. And for example, I don't think tonight is a thing you look back and go, oh yeah, oh, maybe we're wrong. You know what I mean? I think it was more like, I think we're right. We do have our 6 guys, and he's clearly a 7th or an 8th with Jan Ludwig.
The rest of the defense, we touched on it a little bit. Gerard, fantastic. He played great. Was physical, 5 hits. Manson was good, especially after the bounce back, after he kind of banged up a referee a little bit unintentionally.
Sounds like everything's good there,
Yep,
correct?
sounds like ref is good.
good.
Yep, everything is nominal at the hotel.
Good.
He is,
Okay,
hospital. He's fine.
Good.
Moving extremities, referee will be okay. Just a tough fall.
Yeah, it goes beyond the defense, but I don't think any of the Av skaters had a bad game. I think some of them were a little quiet. I think there's probably more you want out of some guys.
Yeah.
But on the whole, you put together a pretty darn good game as the skaters tonight.
Yes.
And you're right. And again, sometimes as a forward, like, you can hide a little bit in a game. So I think there was a few guys hiding.
I agree. But
back in my day, you could hide more. You know what I mean? Like,
better hiding than getting
water ski, and
better hiding than getting put on a poster is what I'm saying.
No, that's my point.
You know?
I think some guys hit well tonight, which is nice. But I mean, again, it's the perfect game to a lengthy days-wise road trip. You don't only being a 4-gamer, but it's a 9-day.
9 days,
right? So it was the perfect final score. It was the perfect, I'm hoping they're gonna go get their Philly cheesesteaks somewhere tonight. That was a tradition of a lot of guys around the league. So
I believe they are,
especially if you're not from the area down there. So, and I think you enjoy a day off tomorrow. I'm assuming, and you know what I mean. So you have 2 days before their next game on Thursday, where Ovechkin will try to tie the record of Wayne Gretzky.
If it gets to like 6 or 7-0, do you just say, let's let him score 30 times? I mean, you're not going to win the game.
man.
Why not? But again, you don't know if Gretz is in the building at that time.
Obviously, that would never happen.
I know.
Gret's about to get some plane miles.
He's going too soon. I think he wasn't. If he was planning to go somewhere towards the end of the year, I think he's going nowhere right now. He's going to be following the Washington Capitals.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
He's going to be calling Ovi and say, just come to Edmonton.
Yeah.
Right? Wait till you get to Edmonton.
I'll start, or Rudo, I'll start with you
Yeah.
on this. The last 10 minutes of this hockey game, not how you want to finish. I kind of looked at you right at the 10-minute mark, and I said, hey, what are we doing? Like, I mean, this is just shutdown mode, and then all of a sudden the wheels started to come off the train tracks a smidgy.
Yeah. Look, I think the Avs panicked a little bit after the 2 goals went in. Again, I don't really know what you can ask them to do better on the 2 goals besides get a save.
Yeah.
I'm not that upset with how they got to the 3-2 spot, besides with Justus. With the rest of the team, it's after that where it's like, okay, you guys are panicking a little bit.
Yeah.
You want to see... And there's some human nature there. I get it. When things go south like that, there's going to be a little bit of panic. But the best teams find a way to say, hey, we need to put a stop to this. Let's calm down, take a breath here.
Right.
And they ultimately closed out the game, so it's okay.
Right.
But, yeah, definitely got a little bit squirrely. Some of those shifts where you can just see how all of a sudden they get a little bit quick with the puck. You're trying to clear a puck and it's a bad rim up the boards, or you're trying to get it out of the zone and you put too much juice on it and you ice it. Things like that need to be tightened up a little bit.
What's worse, starting slow and giving up the first few goals, or going into meltdown panic mode in the last 10 of the game?
Well, they won, so I guess panic meltdown mode by default, but I don't love either.
One of those situations where you're just kind of like, you got to be kidding me, guys. Like, you don't know quite what's happening there, and they got to try to find a way to just play a full 60 minutes. I don't know if they have played a full 60 minutes. Have they played a complete 60-minute hockey game yet?
One of their most complete games might be the 1-0 loss to Winnipeg, funnily enough.
Sure.
Like,
Sure.
I thought the Seattle game they played pretty good.
Yeah,
But going back,
true.
I mean, again, those are just popping in my head. And again, I use coaches' lines all the time. There's 2 teams on the ice, and it is the National Hockey League. I mean, you're going to get a push, circumstances belonging to what the scoreboard says and the timing of a game. You know what I mean? And you're not going to handcuff teams at all times. You got to give credit to. It's amazing what a goal does, or 2 goals, and you got to give credit to Philly a little bit. Where I felt they were sleeping a little bit for part of the game, where all of a sudden they felt like, oh my God, we're 1 shot away, and this is where like the Sammy G play on the side of the net comes so big, and I felt that, it wasn't that bad for the Avalanche. I thought they responded well to, the push from the Flyers.
I mean, here's what's good about it for me. You have a power play in the third period that the Avs are able to convert on to make it a 3-0 game. That ends up being the game-winning goal. It ends up being a big deal because you converted on an opportunity that the Flyers made a mistake on earlier in the game. And so, yeah, I can live with a game where you don't play perfectly. I would have much preferred that you maybe give up one or none and make your life a little bit easier. This way, you ended up with Cale Makar playing 27 minutes instead of 23. There are repercussions there. But ultimately, they did what they needed to do earlier in the game that they kind of get away with it when they are sloppy later.
Okay, I want to talk more about the end of this one in just a moment. But first, super stoked to announce that Bet365 is an official partner of the Denver Nuggets, Colorado Avalanche, and they are giving new customers in Colorado 2 months of Altitude Plus on them when you sign up. I've had a ton of fun with Bet365. I signed up right away when I got here, and I'll tell you what, it's enjoyable. It just adds a little something extra to the game. I love their boosts. I love their parlay selections. They pay off all the time for me because every single day they're powering up bets. And they're powering up the odds on hundreds of bets to give you a chance to win more than over 10,000 boosts every single month. They boost markets, your winnings, and even parlays. Make sure you're looking out for custom DNVR bets and boosts. Rudo's real good about throwing those in for the NHL, and they do specific stuff for every single league, but they get the early payout, so your winner if your team gains a 3-goal lead on instant payout on straight bets and parlay selections that are marked as winner. All you got to do is download the app and use code DNVR365 when you sign up. You can get a little bit of money, you can have a little bit of fun, but I'll tell you what, it's just cool. Like, I'm not a big bettor. I throw out $5 here and there, and then I'll get a win every now and then, and I'll have a good time with it. And for me, it's just a ton of fun. And with the added bonus of getting a little bit of Altitude Plus on them, it's perfect. That is a limited time offer only, so make sure you sign up today. Whatever the moment, it is never ordinary at Bet365. Remember that you must be 21 years of age or older, physically located in the state of Colorado. And if you think yourself or a friend or family member may have a gambling problem, there is help out there. Please call or text 1-800-GAMBLER. That is 1-800-GAMBLER. And make sure you get some help and make sure you are betting responsibly.
Druin helped today.
Druin
hit
was
that bet.
great.
Got the Druin assist. So at least we got one.
Great. He
I
did.
didn't press play.
Classic Eric.
Didn't listen to Rudo. I should listen to him.
Well, you know what? Sometimes you have good betting ideas and you should go with them. Sometimes you get a little bit of betting block. All right? You know what helps with betting ideas?
Living well.
Some ideas with Living Well. Live Well is a cannabis company trying to make cannabis accessible to all. They believe everyone deserves to live well. They have 25 different locations here in Colorado. So they have a dispensary location near you somewhere if you live here. They pretty much have you covered anywhere in Colorado. Of course, they have a fantastic staff that are supportive and knowledgeable, so they'll help you through decisions. Some of us know our cannabis very, very well. Some of us don't. So if you want to try something out, they can explain every product to you that they have on their shelves, whether it's flower, edibles, concentrates, or anything else they might have. They also have a price match guarantee, so if you find products elsewhere cheaper, they'll match the price. So jump in with Live Well today. You can stop by at any time, or you can go to livewell.com and reserve your products for pickup in stores. And bonus, if you mention code DNVR25 in store, 25% off your purchase. So go jump in with them. Of course, restrictions apply. Get your 25% off with that DNVR25 code at your local Live Well.
I like it.
Live well, Eric.
I live well.
That should be our salutation. Live well.
Live well.
What was it in, oh gosh.
Live
What was
long
it?
and prosper.
No. Demolition Man.
I don't
Be
know.
well, John. What was it? Do you remember? Come on. Does anybody? No? You guys didn't see
I don't
Demolition
watch
Man?
movies, bro.
You've never seen Demolition Man?
No.
Wow. Really? With Sylvester Stallone, Sandra Bullock?
No.
Okay.
No,
All
I'm
right.
not
Well,
there. I'm not
great.
there.
All right. I guess I'm the old
I'm
guy.
not leaving.
The
I'm not
only
leaving.
movie I watched was this game tonight, all right?
What was the last movie you watched?
God, I don't even know.
Hallmark
When was the last one
movie
you went to a
yesterday.
movie theater to?
Oh, a decade ago.
Oh my
I
gosh.
haven't been to a real movie theater in forever.
What about you? You
Buddy, I
took
go
Ty
all the
to
time.
Deadpool,
Whatever.
Wolverine.
Deadpool, Wolverine. Yeah, Father of the Year for that one. Oh boy, not my type. I mean,
Be
I
well.
like Miracle.
That's it. That was it. Thank you, Jonathan. It was Be Well, sir, or whatever. And Taco Bell was like a luxury restaurant. Demolition Man, futuristic movie, Wesley Snipes, Sandra Bullock, police things, whatever. You'll like it. It's a good throwback if you want to. Seashells. Never understood the seashells. Chad will love that for those of that have seen it. Eric, you on that last 10 minutes. What you're coaching the team? Put the coaching hat on. How do you get them to stay in the moment the whole way, or start in the moment, or finish strong? Like what's the move there?
Well, I'm one of those tonight that I didn't mind it.
Okay.
I mean, honestly, again, you look at those 2 goals. There's no breakdowns. There's no. Rudo said it earlier. There's no guys out of position. Maybe the thing you would nitpick a little bit is maybe on that point shot. If you go back again, I was just from watching the game. Might have been a few icings right there that led to a loss. I mean, again, that's what I'm saying. Like, who cares? Like, I'm just. But there was no miscues. It's not like there was turnovers. It's not like there was. Bad puck management, in a sense, like with the creativity at the blue lines that end up with a BLT and then the puck's in your net. I mean, I didn't see anything there that way.
The only thing I'd say is on the second goal, Nathan McKinnon falls asleep in front of Ann, and then if you see a guy play to the whistle, and credit to Tyson Forrester on Philadelphia for playing to the whistle and finding that puck. If Nathan McKinnon goes to the whistle, maybe he recognizes something's weird and he stuffs his stick in behind Ann.
And credit the
and helps
referee
keep
too.
it
He
out,
was
but-
by himself tonight, which is again, that used to be played that way all the time. One referee, right? Now there's 2, but he was right there.
I'm
You know what I
glad
mean?
the
Like,
referee that got hurt seems okay.
Yep.
I know that's a tough spot to be in.
Yeah.
I'm going to refrain from saying anything about the refs in this game.
No, I know. I'm talking about that specific play. I'm just talking about that play. He ended up being there. He could have easily blown that, right? The rule is if you lose sight of the track.
On that play,
so
made
he
the
was right there.
Sure.
And again,
Puck
give him
was
credit.
definitely
Again,
loose.
we're not Flyers
Yeah,
fans.
Puck was
but
definitely loose.
If we were Flyers fans, we'd be like, yeah, I mean, the referee did the right thing there. So I'm not worried about what they did. I always say there's 2 teams out there, and it is the NHL, and there's some good players. That Michkov, guys like that, Konechny, guys that can carry the play for some teams. And, at some point you're going to have your pushes. I didn't feel that Philly had a lot of push until then. I thought it was going to have a bigger push at the start of the third period. We didn't see it. Then the Avs get that 3rd goal, and it makes a difference. But, at some point you're going to have a push. Again, a goal like that gives you a little bit of life. A second goal gives you a lot of wings. And then you keep pushing, and then, you lose a few face-offs in a row, and then you're going to get some chances. There's 6-on-5. This is where, the Gerard play comes in big. I didn't mind the structure there at the end. I think they were fine. Tippett does shoot the puck a little high at some point, but you're going to get chances. I mean, you're 6-on-5, and a lot of goals are scored at 6-on-5 in the NHL. So I didn't mind it. I didn't mind the push. I didn't mind the answer. All in all, they were the better team. All in all, I like Justus's game up till then. So that's a response from last game. So somewhere, somehow, I do like the fact that you're going on a 4-game road trip. You win that game. It is a big plus. But I'm still wondering, what did Nathan McKinnon say to the referee? I'm not sure. I don't think it was good, Bob.
I think we could say it during the watch along. I don't think we can repeat it here on the post game show. I think my mom is watching.
Yikes.
So yeah, maybe
Yeah.
no.
I mean, it was
That's
automatic in the corner. He goes, whoosh, he gives it to him. So it couldn't have been good.
It is the Toyota Winners Lounge, and we would love some shots. So if 18 more of you could go ahead and tap that like button, we'd appreciate it very much. Make sure you're subscribing. If you're not, make sure you're a diehard. Follow us on all of our social media as well. But yes, we could definitely use some shots here. Found a new whiskey, Travelers. It's delicious.
Happy for you.
Thank you.
I'll stick with
So
Jaeger.
could you please hit the like button so he can get his whiskey shot?
You guys have a worse save percentage than Justus the other night with your like to people in here ratio.
Yeah,
So
get it going. How many are in there, Tiff?
it's like 180 of you or something.
Yeah, what are you doing?
At least get to 500 save percentage, chat. Come on.
Yeah, 3 stars are coming up. I picked them tonight. I want to hear your opinions in order. Rank them for me. Let me see them before we get to mine. E, you touched on the roadie. It is a 4-game road trip over 9 games. A little bit of a Florida swing in there.
9 days.
Boy, 9 days. 4 games, 9 days. What do we? The Florida trip is always a little bit of fun for these guys. They'll get a little beach time in. They will. They'll get a little volleyball. They'll have a little downtime. Too early in the season for a rookie party. But this is a good trip for a lot of different reasons. However, the downside of that is that Florida and Tampa are humming right now. You know you're facing them. You've got Washington in there. They're up next. So I'm looking ahead a little bit, but just take me through this road trip a smidge for the boys.
The way I look at it is I feel that the Avalanche are an upper echelon team. Are they an upper echelon team in the standings? No, they're more like a mid-pack. We all know why. We all know the circumstances. I do believe with the lineup they have, and now they've had a couple games, and now you got a couple days before your next game. You got a little bit of a revenge game here against Washington and Alex Ovechkin. I like the Avalanche. I do believe that they are an elite team. Again, did they play like an elite team tonight? Yeah, they're not humming on all cylinders, but they certainly had a nice road victory. You're going to need a lot more from that. Whoever the second line's going to be. I mean, I think it's nice that people have come back, but I think we all knew it would take a few games. You're going to need more from those guys. I think the bottom 6 guys now have really settled into this is who they are, and I think you're going to start getting a little bit more of regular, a little bit of production here and there from those guys, and however they mix and match it, I'm not worried about it. I think those guys are fine, and whoever's going, you can press the gas a little bit with those guys, and I like the Avalanche's road trip and their chances right here because I do believe that they will start playing better against good teams. Philadelphia being a good team, obviously Florida being a defending Stanley Cup champ, and Tampa having played well and obviously beat the Avalanche here. What was it, a few weeks ago in a very I thought decisive way, right? I mean, Tampa played a pretty good game that game, and I don't remember what the score was, but
5-2.
5-2, so it couldn't have been that good for the Avs. But I do believe that the Avs will respond this road trip. I like it. I like the way they're at. I think that they weathered the storm. I think there's 4. I think this year you put the game into a 4-part season. I think it was the first 20 games where it was like, buddy, let's stay afloat. And I think that was mission accomplished. They stayed afloat, right? And I think the second 20 games will be like, hey, let's start pressing the gas, right? And then the third one will be, this will bring us the trade deadline. What are we doing here? And then it's the final push. So I do believe that the first part was mission accomplished, and now you're starting to get to almost game 20, and you're going to have to make a big push here because you are better than what it's showing in the standings.
Yeah, I'll touch on a couple things you said there, and then I have one more thing to add quickly.
Okay.
First of all, you mentioned the depth. Parker Kelly was the Avs' second best possession player in this game tonight. I thought he was great defensively. You can see he belongs in that role much better than trying to fit him into your top 6 and expecting him to produce on a regular basis, which is just not who he is. So you can already see that starting to take effect. You mentioned the 20 games. Yeah, tomorrow. Or not tomorrow, but Thursday. That Washington
20,
game
right?
is game
Okay.
20.
I was scared to say because my math was.
Yeah.
I was trying to think, and I'm like, which game is
that's
it
game
now?
20, and
Perfect,
also it's the third game with most of your lineup back. So after that, you say, all right, this is it. This is who we are. Let's go be the best versions of ourselves. And then you get Tampa, who I think the Avs feel like, this is what we really look like, is the team we have our lineup now. Yeah, they're still missing a few pieces, but there's not enough for it to be an excuse. They have a real top 6 that can go in and be competitive. Let's show Tampa a little bit more of what we're supposed to be this year. And then the last bit is, I think this stretch, particularly the Tampa-Florida games, are going to be quite telling. You're probably going to get Georgiev, certainly for the Tampa game.
Yeah.
I don't know about the Florida game, but certainly for the Tampa game. He's going to be coming back from that injury. You'll probably get Justus one more game on this trip or immediately after, too. the goalie battle just won't go away for this team right now. Every night is an opportunity to prove yourself and earn a little bit more, and that's becoming more and more true by the day. I think this is an important road trip for that goalie battle once again. That's all I got.
No, I really like that point because you're bang on with it. And I think it's healthy. I love competition.
So to look ahead just a smidge, and thank you guys for all the likes. We need just one more there for a shot.
Oh, God,
appreciate you. Thank you. In the Toyota chat, you guys are looking out. The scarier thing is, and I think this one, and you and me talked about this at dinner the other night, it's the Vegas home game. Before, right after Tampa, before they head to Dallas. That's going to be a hard one.
You know my rule, if you're new to the chat or whatever, like when you have a lengthy road trip, especially like 9 days, that's qualifies as a lengthy road trip.
Yeah.
In the East, different time zones, some mileage, obviously plane rides, and body dehydrates in those mileage in the air. And you're coming back. When you do come back, the first game back is usually tough. Listen, I'm sure Bednar's going to be asked that question that morning, and his answer will be like, oh, yeah, we don't care. There's no excuses here. Of course, that's what you got to say. You just all know, and as an athlete, you know it's a tough one for all the reasons because you're coming back, and you don't have 2 days in between. You only have that 1 day in between. I think the Avalanche had happened a couple times last year, and they had 2 days in between. It's like that. Now all bets are off. My theory goes out the window. Now, on a game like that, I'm not telling you that you're not going to go play the game because you're just going to take the loss. I'm just telling you that things have to go your way. And first of all, you have to start on the right foot. You can't be chasing the game because if you're chasing the game, you will not have your legs in the third period. It's impossible. I'm just telling you, your body will not react to it. So I think that you're right. I think we got ahead of ourselves a little bit, but it's going to be a fun game to really keep an eye out, and you really got to keep the game simple on a game like that.
Noah, right on cue with the winner shots at 100 likes. Look at this guy. Let's go, Noah. Oh, thanks, buddy boy. Appreciate it.
Giz wants to make sure that it's chilled to 96 degrees, and it's what's the name of it?
Travelers whiskey. It's very delicious. Before we take our break, we'll do a little cheers here. Cheers.
Travelers.
Winter shots are nice. I like these.
It's good. Winter shots are very good. Thank you all. To you. Appreciate you.
I want my $2.
Oh, that's good.
Well, door rules.
And as good as that is, what's even better is our DNVR events. And if you haven't gotten in on them yet, I highly recommend that you do. So much of what we do is about our interaction and about hanging out together with you, being part of you, talking with you, chilling with you. I certainly love interacting with you. It was unbelievable to see everybody out for the takeover the other day. Of course, we had Milan Hayduk with us. I mean, come on already. Give me a break. Name is in the rafters, but tons of other cool stuff like Broncos. Tailgate season is here, and man, do they have a good tailgate. It's a ton of fun. In the back lot of Sports Fan at 18th and Federal. Start the party early. Have a good time with them. You can take a bus from the DNVR bar. The Buffs are crushing it. They've got just one more tailgate in Boulder this season. That's Black Friday against Oklahoma State. The Buffs are amazing. You can join them in Kansas City to tailgate before the Buffs take on the Jayhawks on November 23rd. Tons and tons of cool stuff. Plus our merch, right? If you don't have our merch yet, you got to get in on that. We just dropped the Good Stick Lecky shirt, and I think Tiff's going to show us that because that is just sick and out there and available right now. So make sure you grab that. We've got a bunch of Black Friday specials that'll be coming up. So make sure you're keying in on all that kind of stuff. But we have so many talented people here doing so much cool stuff that you can just get in on it. And we'd love to have you. Make sure you follow us on social at DNVR_sports or go to thednvr.com/events to check out our calendar. Get in on it. Have fun. Check that out. That's awesome. You see the Good Lucky shirt down there in the bottom left corner. If you don't have that already, grab it. And by the way, if you do become a diehard, you get a shirt. And maybe it's a good lucky shirt. It's brand new. You'll be the coolest kid in town. Everybody will be talking about you. Plenty of people will be jealous. Fashion models all over the world are wearing it. It's trending harder than just about everything right now. So if you want a good lucky shirt, before the price skyrockets to $200, $300, maybe even $400, I would get on our page right now and get it. Supplies are limited. It is flying out the door. There was 2 fistfights today over a good lucky shirt that they gave away down there.
I think that
had
might just
one.
be Colfax, buddy.
No, it was
Yeah,
me.
that's actually
was me.
accurate. Yeah, it
It was me.
Colfax. Anyway, the shirt is available. You can get one without having to fight for it. I'm telling you right now, the Good Stick Lucky shirt is going to be more popular than Tickle Me Elmo was decades ago at Christmas.
Watch out, Black Friday. Could be
Look
down.
out, Black Friday.
A little spoiler here. Something I know about our next takeover.
Yes,
I don't know what I can say, but all I'll say is it's going to be pretty sweet.
Oh, yeah?
Just saying. Also, when you're hanging out with us, whether it be the takeover at the bar or just at home vibing with the watch along, make sure you're going and getting yourself some Coors Light. Literally the beer made to chill. The mountains turn blue on the bottle or the can to make you know that it's ice cold and ready to drink. Absolutely delicious. You can go get it. It's brewed right here in Colorado too. So you're even supporting local. Funny. I mean, they're national, but they're
But
national for a
locally
reason.
brewed.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So jump in with Coors. You can even get it delivered right to your front door thanks to CoorsLight.com/DNVR. Instacart will ship it to you, and then you have beer on your couch. Good times.
I didn't believe that it was blue, and
Yeah, he
showed
didn't. He
me.
didn't know they actually turned blue.
I didn't know that. I don't drink. I mean, now I'm very impressed by Coors Light.
They do, yeah. The mountains turn blue.
I know, it's cool.
Sick.
Whether you knew that or not, please drink responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
I drink apple juice.
You did, yeah.
I don't know that I've ever seen you drink apple juice.
Whatever.
Diet Coke.
Hey,
Yeah.
shh, don't. My wife's listening.
Hi, Joe. He's been well. He's been behaving.
He's been pretty good.
Yeah, he's been pretty good.
Pineapple juice, stuff like that.
A little bit of time
yeah,
left here
sorry.
on our show before we say good night for the night. Takeaways first, and then I want to touch on a couple other things. We'll get to our 3 stars after this. Thank you guys all for your suggestions. But let's go with just takeaways in general from this game. I think what I've been doing post-game is sort of grading them. So maybe let's go through our grades for the positions and the periods real quick. I'll get them from both of you. Riddle, let's start with you. Give me grades let's start with periods, first, second, third.
Period 1, B+. Period 2, A. Period 3, I'm going to give it a B-. I don't think it was that bad.
Yeah, I don't think so either. Okay. And then how about forwards, defense, goaltending?
Forwards is a hard one. I think a solid B.
Yeah.
I think there was more you could have gotten out of some of your guys tonight, but it was good. Defense, A. Oliver Shillington had a couple of bobbles. Josh Manson had a couple of bobbles, but they were very minor. I don't know how much better your defense can play, and you had Cale Makar carry the game. Goaltending, I'm going to say C+.
Yeah.
So I'm trying not to be too harsh on it because he did play 2 very good periods. But at the end of the day, it's on Annanen's head that this wasn't an easy game for the Avalanche.
What's your biggest takeaway tonight?
Honestly, my biggest takeaway tonight is a good team won a good game with not their best and not their worst. A solid altogether added up. It's like a B+ game, maybe a B game, and they won. If you can win with your B game, you're going to win a lot of hockey games.
It's a good sign for a good hockey team.
How about you? Let's go periods first. Give me grades on the first, second, and third, pal.
Yeah, I thought the second, I agree, was their best period. So at first period, probably like a B, second period an A, and third period I'll give it a B because I didn't mind the response to the push at the end. As far as the forwards, I'll be a little more harsh there. I want to see a lot more. I'm going to give it a C+ there. More because I didn't see a lot of electrifying plays from the top 6 guys. I thought it was a good game. I'm not saying it's a bad game. They made some good plays, and I just expect more, and I think we're really, really hard on those guys, and for all the reasons, because it is one of the best top six in the league. On the defense, I agree. Rudo, you give it an A, I'll give it an A too. I thought they were good. There's not much more. Again, what are the scoring chances against tonight? Like, what's the, again, well, I'll finish it up. You can tell me, but I didn't think the Avs gave up a lot. You gave it a C+ on the goaltending. I'll give it a B-. The reason I'm giving it a B- because I really wanted to see how he would come out. As we saw earlier in the year when he had that tough outing when he came in relief. He followed that by another tough outing in relief. So I really wanted to get a good start to the game. He wasn't that busy, but I felt that his first two periods, he answered the bell and he answered the bounce back that he needed to do. But, again, I'm not in love with those two goals, so that's why I give him a B-. But my biggest takeaway tonight, I have to be honest, my T-shirt is at the dry cleaners because I wear it all the time. But I think Cale Makar is just the best player on the planet. That's it. That's my takeaway from the game tonight. This guy is absolutely not human. It is not legal to play hockey that way. It should be. He should be put away and locked up in jail because this is not right. I mean, it is not right. It's not fair for the rest of the National Hockey League or anybody in this league to see how good he is. And boy, if you're new to the Avalanche and you don't watch a lot of Avalanche hockey, watch this guy. It's pretty amazing to watch.
Yeah, I mean, listen.
Oh, and then Rudo, sorry. I was asking you for my... What are
high danger chances were 6 to 8 in Philly's favor. There was just honestly not a lot of high danger at 5-on-5 throughout the majority of the game.
So that's why you can be a lot more demanding. That would be 3 games in a row where the Avalanche are really not giving up a lot, right? I mean, not only just in shots, but in shot volumes and in scoring chances. I do believe that their structure has been pretty solid. I think that everybody is kind of buying into it, and I think that that's going to lead to a lot more W's here coming up.
Yeah, and listen, I think you saw the chemistry vibing a little bit better today. I thought Lehkonen kind of, he wasn't necessarily super present tonight, but he was there. I like that.
I didn't love Lehkonen's game tonight, to be honest, but
yeah, but again, I think what everybody has to understand with the re-additions of guys like Lehkonen and Nichushkin and Wood and Drouin, that it's just going to take a second. I mean, it's not a chemistry thing. It's they've got to get back to feeling game speed in the National Hockey League.
Yeah.
Like, you take that much time off, it's a different league, and it's hard to explain, but Eric, you know it better than anybody because you played in the National Hockey League. There's a pace there, and there's a hockey pace that's different than working out and practicing, and when you get into the flow of it, it's a speed, it's a physicality, it's a mentality thing.
Well, I'll use Val, for example. You're talking about a 6 months inactivity, and obviously not a lot of hockey in the last 3 weeks in a sense of practice. You know what I mean? It's not like he's been practicing for months, and I think you saw Lecky practicing for much longer, and I think his return was a little bit more prolific, the first couple games. But I think for Val, for example, is your brain probably wants to do something and your body is allowing to do something else to a certain extent. You know what I mean? So it does take a little bit of time to get back into the groove and the game shape, because there's a big difference between being in shape and being in game shape. Those are two totally different things.
And I think when you think about it, you've got to figure out exactly how that's all going to fit, because there's the potential of this changing again a couple of times. There's going to be another 2 or 3 adjustments, maybe minimum, to this roster, depending upon what happens with Landeskog, depending upon what happens if you decide to move a goalie, etc. But there are other things that could adjust and jostle this lineup from a personality as well as player standpoint.
yeah, and I'm not worried about any of those things with Lecky or Val.
No.
The reason they're not superstars is because they don't bring it every night necessarily. They can have an off night like that, and on that side of things, it falls more on Nathan MacKinnon to me. And the Avs won the game, so I'm not trying to dunk on him. Fine, it worked tonight, but he's got to start shooting the puck more. He has to.
He is very much a pass-first guy right now.
He's
not who he is. He's got to get back to his
Yeah.
volume shooting, 100%.
They need more shooting, Nathan McKinnon. Not that he can't make pretty plays and passes, but
He had a tap in tonight.
yeah, there's just too much of it right now from him.
They will pack up and have a very short flight to Washington. They'll take on the Capitals next. Ovechkin has just been on a tear. Is that you can't stop him, you can only hope to contain him situation at this point? I mean, oh my goodness.
And again, Rudo knows what I'm going to say. Good teams don't lose 2 games in a row. And you got to put yourself in a mindset. This has just happened. The schedule helps you think that way a little bit because they lose to the Caps a couple games ago, and then you pretend that this is a playoff series. You know, you want to make sure that you go beat that team. And I know they played Philly in between, but you want to make sure you go, get into that mentality of not losing 2 games in a row. Again, we all know they won tonight, but I'm talking about against that same opponent. So you got a revenge game. You got a game that whoever is going to, who knows if Justus is going to start that game or is Georgiev going to be back? Who knows? We'll see what happens here the next 48 hours. But you want to make sure that as a team, as a goaltending, if it's Justus, you come back and you're ready to go. And, I'm not worried about the Avalanche. I think I'm excited about the Avalanche. I think this is a road trip that comes at the right time. I think this is absolutely perfect that those guys are on the road right now. And I think that you're going to see them come out swinging a little bit like on Thursday against my pizza and Diet Coke guy, Alex Ovechkin.
Yep. I mean, I hope they do. I hope he scores less goals than we got super chats tonight. I'll put it to you that way. We do have one super chat here from Craig, $10, who says, "Hello from DC, boys. I will be at the Caps game Thursday. Should I wear the standard away white jersey or the old McKinnon blueberry jersey from 2015? I'm not a big fan of the blueberry, but I will say this. Are you planning to get food at the arena? If yes, don't wear the white."
There you go.
Ooh,
Yeah, that's foresight.
I like that.
That's thinking. Big win for the Colorado Avalanche tonight. Thank you all for your comments in the Toyota chat. We do appreciate you. Make sure you drop us a like. Make sure you are subscribing. We've already surpassed the 100K mark. We appreciate you so much. It's because of you that we're in the place that we're in right now and finding our spot on broadcast television now too, which is just really, really cool, because what I've learned is that the folks here at ALLCITY and specifically at DNVR are insanely hardworking and even more so passionate about this group, this team, this city. So it's so cool to have you all a part of it, and it's very cool to be a part of it as well. I've enjoyed my time here very, very much. A 3-2 win for the Colorado Avalanche. They beat the Philadelphia Flyers in the first of a 4-game road trip that will span 9 days. We will have it all for you. Next, back with you on Wednesday. Off day for all of us tomorrow on Tuesday. But we'll have you all squared away with the pregame, a watch-along, and the postgame show as the Colorado Avalanche take on the Washington Capitals. A big thank you to everybody here, especially our friends at the DNVR bar below us that keep us fed and hydrated, both with the H2O and the other libations. Big thank you to Tiffany Hernandez, our amazing producer who takes care of graphics, puts everything together. She's unreal. We didn't get do we have a time limit on this? Can we show the 3 stars? Yeah, all right, let's get to the 3 stars real quick. I forgot all about those. Throw them up. Let's go. What order do you want to go in, Tiff? 3, 2, 1. Third star. This was a tough one. You know what? I really did love the play of Justus, but not a hard choice here.
Yeah, no, I think the only guy who got snubbed, in my opinion, is Gerard. Yeah, and he probably doesn't deserve to be on the 3 stars because he had multi-point nights from all 3 of these guys. So
yeah,
I totally get where you're coming from there. Mikko, maybe a little bit of not the full moose tonight, but you got the passing moose, and it was clicking.
Yeah,
so.
It was pretty good. Number 2, not hard. Just a really great job by him. 1 goal, 1 assist. Love his play. He's consistent. He's reliable. He went a little quiet for a smidge there, but he has stormed back, and he's probably my favorite go-to interview in the locker room, post-practice, post-game, aside from Sammy Malinsky.
Look, this is what, maybe not 2-point nights, but they need Casey to produce with the guys that they're now putting around him in the lineup. Yeah, those guys might be a little off on any given night, but Casey's the center. He's got to be the consistent factor there. So good on him for finding it, and technically the game-winning goal.
Number 1 star. Oh, what a surprise. Hard to figure out this one. Cale Makar was a rock star tonight. He 100% is the number one start. 2 goals. Probably should have been 3. Also a natural hat trick. He was the engine that got this thing going and the fuel in the tank the rest of the way.
What else can you say about the guy?
Zip it.
Pretty good hockey player. Also honorable mention, of course, to former Av EJ on his 1,000th game the other night. Celebration was tonight. Another honorable mention to Gabe Landeskog for making the road trip to present his good friend and former teammate and fellow Stanley Cup champion with a little bit of love. So big for EJ. 1,000-game celebrations are super special. Hey, thanks for sticking with us tonight. Went a little bit long, but there was a lot to go over and talk about. I appreciate all the support from all y'all. It's great to be a part of this family, and it's great to be part of the ALLCITY DNVR group. Truthfully, very much enjoying it. Make sure you're being safe. Make sure you enjoy the rest of your week. Do something nice for somebody. It's tough out there. Make somebody smile. Make somebody's life better. Do it for a random stranger. Put a smile on somebody's face. Help where you can because somebody probably needs it. And lastly, make sure you're calling your mama. For Tiff, for Rudo, for Big E, I'm Gizmo. Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your night. Appreciate all the kind words from those of you that have them. And we will see you coming up on Wednesday. Good night.
We all silly like the mayor.